YouTube, Richician of Team Sorcerers here, and in this video I'm going to be counting down my top 6 favourite hand traps. Yeah, I'd have preferred it to end with a 5 or have like a double figure that ends in 0, but yeah, I couldn't round it up. And also I have a new hat, which I got given. So yeah, let's just kick it off. So coming in at number 6 is Effect Veiler, a really brilliant hand trap that can just simply be sent from hand to grave on either player's turn, seal and affect monsters' effects for that turn. Easily gets a light engrave, so chaos food. And if none of those tickle your fancy, it can still be used as a level 1 tuner, adding that extra level for synchro plays. I used to play this a lot in Dark Magician. Well, I still can, but it served all these multiple purposes. I got maximum use out of this. It was great. But it's right at the bottom because this is also a card which I hate being used against me. So it's what I call a love-hate card. A card that I like using myself, or just don't really mind using myself, but hate when it's used against me, especially when this would be used on either Skilled Dark Magician or Elemental Hero Stratos. It's so annoying. Like, there was one time where it was dropped on a Skilled Dark, like, after I got it to free spell counters, and there've just been too many times in the past where it stopped a Stratos just like that. Nowadays it's generally Ash Blossom that would do it, but yeah, I don't like being cut off from using Stratos or Skilled Dark. All the same though, there's no denying that it's a great hand trap, all the same. In at number 5 is one that doesn't get used so much anymore, but I still like it. Gauze, the Emissary of Darkness. Such a fantastic card, which saw a lot of play in the late 2000s, early 2010s, not so much these days. But yeah, I like it. Has solid attack points, generates a token which could be a beat stick as well. Especially one that can just crash into something that's bigger than Gauze. This was also something I used quite a lot in Dark Magician, but obviously this can't be played in a Dark Magician deck anymore because it relies too much on back row these days. And yeah, this requires me to not have any back row at all, which is a downside, but I still prefer this over Tragodia, because Tragodia depends too much on a large hand. The other annoying thing about it is that there are things that can happen in a duel which would then cause the opponent to see this coming. Yeah, for instance, there'd be one of those situations where they get a bunch of monsters onto the field and push all of them forward and say, attack with everything for the win, and I'm like, hold on, who are you attacking with first? Now, some will be confused and think it doesn't matter that much but go along with it anyway. Others will then catch on that it's a Gauze, and then try and play round it by like attacking with the weakest monster and then ending battle phase. It's really quite annoying. And technically this is, you could get rule shocked, or if it's a tournament game, a warning for doing that. It's just going, pushing all your monsters forwards, going attack with everything for the win. I mean, sure, maybe the opponent won't have a Gauze, but you just never know. You know, it's one of those things that can still come up. It's still an awesome card, though. Kind of miss playing it in a deck. In at number 4 is probably the Ghost Girl that I like the most. Ghost Reaper and Winter Cherries. Ghost Belle is awesome as well, but I kind of like Ghost Reaper and Winter Cherries more. Like, I read it and I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. This can get rid of annoying extra deck monsters that I don't like dealing with. You know, Gladiator Beast Heraclinos, Legendary 6 Samurai Shen, Naturia Beast, totally awesome, Cyber Dragon Infinity, Odd Eyes Vortex Dragon, and things like that. I mean, it does take up side deck, main deck, and even extra deck space, but, you know, it's generally worth it. You know, just to get rid of an annoying extra deck monster, like, before it hits the field and becomes a problem. I absolutely love it, it's fantastic. I even remember one time where I actually beat ABCs in a match because of this card. Like, yeah, this was a few years back now. It was brilliant. I dropped it, and yeah, it was a struggle for the opponent. Like, what's an ABC player gonna do without Dragon Buster? I mean, they could still make some rank 4 plays, but that's it really. It's awesome. Haven't been able to use it much recently, in recent tournament games that I've had, because I needed room for other things, but it's still something that's generally worth it, in my personal opinion. Put this in the wrong slot in my binder. Yeah. In at number 3 is something old school. Karibo, the OG hand trap. This little guy was a hand trap before hand traps were even a thing. It's awesome. And this can actually be more helpful than a Battle Fader or a Swift Scarecrow. Sure, it doesn't end the battle phase or anything, but it can generally be useful if one monster is attacking into one of my monsters, and that's enough to finish me, like, let's say, a Blue Eyes Chaos Max Dragon, for instance. This is a great way to save yourself from being OTK'd if they do the Chaos Max Incantation Creature Swap combo. It is awesome. And this actually did help a bit against Stein OTK, like back in the day. Well, I say a bit because I wasn't able to do it very often, combined with the fact that I still lost a match against it when I used it. Yeah, it's a fond memory that I do have still. My board was cleared somehow, and the opponent had a field of Cyber Stein, Cyber Phoenix, and Cyber End-Dragon equipped with Megamorph, and the guy went to attack the game with Cyber End. I was like, I drop Karibo! I'm still in this. Then I drew into Swords of Revealing Light and played it, but rather annoyingly I didn't have any other plays. I had no other monsters. But of course in the end it didn't matter, because the opponent then played Giant Trunade, tried OTK me again, and he was successful. But still, at least I bought myself a turn with this little guy. Yeah, it's still also something I try to use if I can. I still use it in my Yugi character deck, of course, but it's still something I try and main deck or side deck in Dark Magician. In at number 2 is Maxi. Like, if I was to have a favourite insect type monster, it would be this guy alongside good old Man-Eater Bug. But yeah, I really do like Maxi. You know, one of the best hand traps of all time, just letting me draw cards for every special summon the opponent performs. You know, it's great in any deck really, whether it's meta or casual, and it's just more of a big help for the old casual non-meta deck. You know, just so they can keep up. It's also one of those amazing cards where it forces the opponent to try and go for game like right away, or they have to just end their turn or something right there because they don't want the other guy drawing extra cards. It is fantastic, and it was a particularly great asset in both Dark Magician and Rainbow Neos, just adding that extra consistency. It is a shame that it's currently banned, but you know, obviously I do understand the reasoning behind it being banned. Will it ever come back? Who knows? I mean, on one hand, like, Called by the Grave can just hard counter it, but on the other hand, who knows if it's really a good idea bringing this back. But I will tell you right now, and I'm sure other people will have this idea, but if this does come back, I'm going to play it in absolutely every deck I have, just because I can. And before I get into the number 1 pick, I'm going to dish out a few honourable mentions to some that didn't make the list. 3 cards to be exact. Yeah, I couldn't think of a 10th hand trap that I really liked. Otherwise this would have been a top 10, but the first honourable mention will be to Ghost Bell and Haunted Mansion. I really love this card because this is a hard counter to Called by the Grave, which ironically is a hard counter to hand traps like this. But no, it is really awesome. Now, Called by the Grave is a card that I do I'm fine using myself, just to specifically counter Ash Blossom and Draw, but it's annoying when it's used against me, especially when it's used on Dark Magician. Like, there have been too many times now where the opponent just banished my Dark Magician with Called By, so like for a while I had to run this in the main deck, or at least side it, just to specifically counter Called By and protect my Magician from being banished. It has other uses, but I like using that to particularly stop Called by the Grave. And the other honourable mention I'm going to give is to, if I can just find it, I'm so badly prepared here. Ah, here we are. Elemental Hero Honest Neos. Absolutely amazing card for heroes to use. Just powering them up to the maximum, although the fusions are generally very powerful anyway in their own rights, but this gives them a nice little boost and actually helps out the main deck heroes a lot. It's a great way of dealing with anything that's basically shutting down my spells, like the Couturier Beast, for instance, or something that's shutting down special summons, and I can just attack with one of my low-level guys, drop an Honest Neos, and just overpower it so that I can actually play the game. Yeah. And of course it also works really, really well with Evil Hero Malicious Bane, so that it can get rid of things that are above 3k. And the last honourable mention I'm going to give, but by no means least, will be to Apprentice Illusion Magician. A very, very helpful asset in Dark Magician decks. I don't like how I have to discard a card to special summon her, especially if an Ash is dropped afterwards, which is just infuriating, and I have to use up a lot of cards in my hand to get another one on the field, because thankfully neither of her effects are hard once per turn. Even so, though, yeah, it is generally worth it. A great way to get Dark Magician into the hand. I always want to see Dark Magician in my hand for navigation and Eternal Soul plays, and not only that, it also gives my Dark Spellcasters a nice little buff. If anything, it would help a lot in the Evil Swarm matchup, potentially. Just summon a Rod, then attack Ophion with a Rod and drop Apprentice, or I guess anything else, really, like some random 3k beta. And not only that, it also helps Dark Magician himself get over monsters that it can't get over. Like a Blue Eyes or something. It also helps a Dark Magician go toe-to-toe with a Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon, or even a Rainbow Neos. But because it's not a hard once per turn, it could even overpower either of those guys with just two of these, or 3. Like, it's so much fun if I drop 3, making Dark Magician in 8500 attack beta during that damage calculation. I haven't been able to pull that off yet, but maybe one day I'll be able to. Who knows? And finally, in at number 1 on this list, my favourite hand trap in the entire game is Battle Fader. Some prefer Swift Scarecrow, I prefer Battle Fader. I mean, obviously they both end the battle phase and they're as good as each other, but I just like Battle Fader more. Like, he has a more special place in my heart, which is over here. Yeah, Battle Fader has saved my ass so many times. And even bought me the turn I needed to try and turn things around. And there was one time where it actually did. Like, I remember one duel I had with Davies where I was using Dark Magician Hero, he was playing Dark World, and I was overwhelmed by 3 Graphers, and he would have OTK'd me right there and then if I didn't have a Battle Fader. And then, on my next turn, I was able to top deck a Miracle Fusion, bust out Shining Flare Wingman, and attack for the win. Yeah, Battle Fader is my special anti-OTK card, which has been a great asset whether I played Dark Magician, Legendary Hero, or Dark Magician Hero. Unfortunately, he's not in my Dark Magician deck right now. I wish he was, but yeah, I didn't have the space. Yeah, it's still a really awesome card that I can just play any time, really. And not only that, I can get other uses out of him. He serves as tribute fodder, like, especially when I play Legendary Hero and Dark Magician Hero. Like, if I have a Treeborn Frog in the grave and no back row, I can res it, and that gives me tribute fodder for Dark Magician or Elemental Hero Neos. Either that or it helps with synchro plays as well, especially in Legendary Hero, adding that extra level to make either Stardust Dragon or Trishula. It's truly awesome. I mean, probably wouldn't recommend it against a Chaos Max deck, maybe. I mean, sure, like, I can drop it on a direct attack and end the battle phase, but if this is stuck on the field and I can't get rid of Chaos Max, then I'll just be finished off next turn. I did, however, just remember another use for Battle Fader, Link Karibo. This can simply be used as an easy material for Link Karibo. Either that or this is something I contribute to res the Link Karibo. And not only that, now that we have Relinquished Anima, you can just use this to go into Relinquished Anima as well. Yeah, which is awesome. I kind of wish I thought of that like before I used my Neos Wise Man deck in the latest series of the Dark Richician's deck Grand Championship. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen Heat 4. I had Battle Fader in my Neos Wise Man deck, but no Link monsters, not even Link Karibo, which was really annoying because that could have helped a lot. But I just didn't think of it, because the thing about Neos Wise Man decks is that they don't heavily rely on the extra deck. Well, I guess they do now that Elemental Hero Neos Kruger exists, although at this time it's only in the OCG, not the TCG, but yeah. If I'm playing Battle Fader in there, then Link Karibo should be in there as well. Oh well, at least Rainbow Neos went through. And yeah, that is it. Those are my top 6 favourite hand traps in the game. Let me just show them again real quick. There they are, right next to my Elemental Hero, favourite Elemental Hero collection, with Mirror Force as part of the main favourite collection. Right, I put Battle Fader in the wrong place. Good job, Richie. Oh my god, this is a mess. There we go, that's the correct order of my hand traps. My favourite hand traps, that is. So there we go, that is it. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, leave a comment, share it with everyone you know, and subscribe if you haven't done so already, and let me know what your guys' favourite hand traps are, and I will catch you guys later. Stay safe, and see you later.